y'all doing? I'll talk about something a buddy of mine had me look at. I have no right to even handle this thing. Hear my dog in there barking. This is a Korean War bringback. A buddy of mine, his dad was in the Korean War. This is a NCO. And I guess you could call it a samurai sword, but they don't call I can't even pronounce what they call it. But a lot of the NCOs had this. This is an aluminum handle. It still has the paint on the aluminum handle, which I find very impressive. Little notch here. This probably would have been painted. It looks like it's green. Some of them are blue, but it's a little rusted. Korea was controlled by the Japs in like 1905, I think it was. So I guess that makes sense about the Korean War, which happened after, because you got the Japanese version, which would be South Korea, and the Chinese version, which would be North Korea. The Japanese, they raped, pillaged, and this sword here probably killed a lot of Chinamen. Beheaded them. Who knows? There's a nick here on the blade. It's actually in pretty good shape. This was made before 1945. I mean, it's got numbers on it. Everybody thinks about a samurai sword, and they think most of the swords were, handcrafted. This was machined. The NCO swords were made cheaper, but they still carried them. A non-commissioned officer would be the guy that was controlling, the privates and everything else. He'd be holding this sword saying, "Come on, let's go!" Ah! And who knows how many people this sword killed. What I like about history and pieces of history like this, weapon like this. This is a World War II sword. But it was a bringback in the Korean War. I'm thinking, if I take a guess, the Chinese that, got destroyed by the Japanese back in the day and during World War II, this is just a leftover. And I'm not saying I'm not allowed to talk about it, but I didn't ask my friend if I was able to mention his father's name, and this sword is actually registered to him. Bring back, I think that he has 2 of them. This is a non-commissioned officer sword, and the other one, I'm assuming, he says he has another one, is an officer sword, and I guarantee that one might be actually a real Japanese-made, samurai type sword. A lot of them have a broken piece here. This one kind of works. It's just the spring's a little weak. I really should not be handling this thing. It's history. A lot of history with this. Who knows how many Chinese this thing killed? Because it did. I guarantee it did. This beheaded or cut off limbs of many Chinese people. The Japs really, they weren't nice to the Chinese, and they invaded way before World War II even got started. History. I'm thinking this sword here has a lot to do with the Korean War. Like I said, the communists and, the revamped Japs is why the South Koreans and the North Koreans didn't get along. That's just my take on it. Nobody said it personally, but I think that's what happened. Some of these came with wooden handles at that time. Some are aluminum. I think the other one, I'm not sure what the other ones were, brass, I guess. But they were all solid. You almost look at it and you think, oh, that's got to be fake, because it's cast aluminum And they painted it. This one still has the paint on it. Now I could take it apart, but I'm not. I'm not going to take this apart. This ain't mine. And I'm not even going to use it. I thought about cutting some shit with it. It's not mine. This was made before 1945. NCO officer sword. You know, they did most of the grunt work, most of the killing, raping, pillaging. What makes this sword, I believe, worth money is the paperwork he's got with it. Because, like I said, it's matching serial numbers and it's registered to his father. God bless. Maybe he'll let me do a video on the other one. I don't know. Bye. There's markings on it. Right there, I believe. All right, see ya.